So I took this picture at Orchard Beach, and someone asked what the building in the center was. As it turns out, this building is a bathhouse that was part of a thriving pavilion when the beach first opened in 1936. Unfortunately, today the bathhouse and the pavilion are in a state of disrepair. The good news is they'll be doing renovations that'll restore the pavilion and the bathhouse. These renovations have already started, but let's take a look at the pavilion and the bathhouse now. When you first get to Orchard Beach, the backside of the pavilion is what you'll see. Walking up the steps, you're greeted by an interesting design on the floor, which we'll come back to in a minute. Walking forward across the pavilion gives you a great view of the beach below. Under those tents is a stage where performances happen sometimes. Right now, we're right about here, on the pavilion, overlooking the beach, which would be on the left side of this photo. From here, you can see the boardwalk, and the sand, and the water. And there's my bike. But let's get back to the design we saw when we first came in. It's very nice, and if you look closely, it's actually a compass. Very nice design and a symbol of the sun in the center. And there's the parking lot. That's where we came in. As you can see, a lot of these large tiles on the floor will probably have to be replaced. There's a lot of weather damage. Let me get my bike. So now let's try to take a closer look at the bathhouse. Right now we're right about here. And we can see the scaffolding for the renovation. This tiling design at the base of the staircase is very interesting and can be found in a lot of places. This is a nice pillar where there should be flowers. And there's a lot of red brick construction. That's where we just were, up there. You can see the construction materials. Let's try to see over the gate. I didn't climb up, the camera's on a stick. Let me get my bike. Let's get closer. So now we have a better view of how the bathhouse was constructed. There's blue terracotta tiles on the pillars. Lots of old red brick that still looks pretty good. This is a nice area for people to sit and relax, and there's a nice view of the beach. Those two things are water fountains. Now this part where the yellow gates are used to be a storefront, but now it looks like it's where they store the food carts. I didn't know that. Hey, how you doing? And there's the other staircase and the other wing of the bathhouse. And you can see the trees are lined with that same tiling pattern that we saw before. But I guess something must have happened to this particular tree. There used to be little stores where these gray gates are. And the stores would sell things like umbrellas and towels. But I guess because of the renovation, they stopped doing that. So now you see the merchants are actually on the boardwalk. And there's that same tiling pattern. It runs right up to the boardwalk. And the boardwalk has a unique hexagon pattern. Some of it is broken and cracked, but mostly it's in good shape. And here's a nice wide-angle view. It's almost like the photo that started it all in the beginning. So the renovations are supposed to be finished in 2025. It will be interesting to see how everything turns out.